Hey everybody, it's Jesse joining you next to another river. This one's faster flowing, has a bridge, some snow, and a few birds. The other one, on the other side of the country, the bridge was a car bridge and the river was flooded. It wasn't fast as flowing like this one. There was no snow, just got a bunch of rain and it was flooded. Now, those comparisons aside and that duck that just departed us, I decided it was a good idea to focus this video on the rocky island of which I have to build a bridge to get back now. Thought this was a great idea to come over here. And yeah, one other thing. Well, I'm gonna set the context. Today we had some of my boys, we had a great discussion. We had one of our first actual meetings, unofficially, one of our first men's meetings. And I asked the guys, hey, what do you think would be a good topic for me to discuss today? And Tommy suggested, why don't you talk about carrying resentment? Like, rolled it right off the tongue. That guy can make a mean coffee, by the way. Sidebar for later. Carrying resentment. I'm actually going to change that to, just slightly, harboring resentment. And it's the same, but it's just a subtle nuance different. In harbor, depending on how you spell it, there's a U. And by you, I mean some of you do this unconsciously and are unaware. Harboring resentment. Before I get started though, if you're just new to this channel, thanks for watching this video. If you're watching for the second, third, or millionth time, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, hit the little subscribe button and then hit the little bell notification. That will bring to you all my great content. So, harboring resentment. Oh, Jesse, harboring resentment. Do you really want to dip into this conversation today? Yeah, I do. I do. Because as a population, as humans, as men and women in relationships, we do this day in, day out, don't we? Don't you dare fib to me. We do. And we do this because we've learned a number of ways to do it. Now, one of the ways that I believe this affects you, because it's affected me, especially in my past. One of the ways that it affected me was it affected the way I presented myself every day. Well, Jesse, what do you mean by that? Because there's so many little things about you that are characteristics of your well-being and your not well-being and the way you are. Oh my God, I got it. All the mind stories turning in your head already suggest that there are so many things that are plugged into this. And there is. The way I would do it every day was I wasn't into choosing myself first. So what did I do? I acted out. And what did this come across as? It comes out in your day like little slights. You get little aggressions, little microaggressions. Sometimes you take it out on your dog. Sometimes you go to a park and you're yelling at your daughter, your son. Sometimes you are finding yourself in a conversation where there are words that are being being batted back and forth like tennis. And it is a good game until somebody says a word that you don't like. It all of a sudden, that stuff that is underneath, just boiling at the surface, comes up and it comes out. And I talked about triggers and reforming that in your mind yesterday and reframing, I choose. So you get to choose that. If you haven't already seen that video, I'd like to invite you to go back, watch that video, come back to this video and watch it again. Why? Because it's a good primer for how this goes. If you haven't already, that's okay. You can do this one too and then go back and look and listen. If you don't make time for you, like I didn't make time for me every day, I am choosing everyone else but myself. I am choosing, so I would find an excuse to take the dog to the park when I was married. I would do it late at night. So much so that I didn't want to go to bed with my wife at night, because my ex-wife, because I didn't want to have to engage. And it wasn't her, it was me. I just wasn't comfortable with me because I had disconnected from her, but I had disconnected from myself, and I hadn't chose myself. I had been going to work, cramming the food down my throat, into my body, going to work. Then at work, what do we do? We service everybody else before we do ourselves. And if you didn't, like I didn't, every morning, doing your exercises, doing your meditation, doing your affirmations, and yes, as a guy, you should be doing this. Don't you dare look at me like that. We need to do this. We need to do this every day, and you need to do this consistently every day. And when you do it consistently every day, you're going to notice a shift. You're going to know it. Try it. Just try it. Stop arguing with me. Try it. Because if you do this, I guarantee you do this 10, 11 days in a row, and you do it meticulously. Every day you slot in an hour for yourself, like I have done and started to do a few months back. I started to give myself the confidence knowing that I was giving myself something every day. Comparison, like the two rivers that I just gave you, flowing and flooded, I was flooding my life with anger because I wasn't showing up for me. And why I wasn't showing up for me, what did that come out as? Betrayal. I was betraying myself. I was betraying myself the truth that I didn't love myself. I didn't save anything for me. And I didn't want to have to deal with myself. So I carried around parts of myself that I needed to fix, I needed to get better at, and I needed to make perfect. But I distracted myself with other things and other people's, yes, you do this. Some of you do this really well. You distract yourself with your kids' stuff, their activities before dealing with your own. I know you do because I did it. You go out and you buy them clothes before you would buy your own, don't you? You go out and you buy them healthy food before you buy healthy food for yourself. You'll feed them first. This is what I'm talking about. And this forms the microaggressions for which accumulate in your life. They accumulate daily. And where does it all go? I don't know. Where does it all go? It gets stuck in your body. It gets compartmentalized in pain points. Oh, my shoulder aches, Jesse. Oh, you don't understand. Yeah, I do. I understand. Oh, you don't understand. My back hurts right down. Oh, I'm financially supporting my kids, my husband, my wife, and you just don't get it. I don't have time to do that. If you don't make time for you, for your health, you're going to be making a lot of time for your illness later. If you don't make time for your mental health now, you're going to be making a lot of time for your physical ailments later. And I don't wish that upon anyone. I want to see you succeed. But I want you to know that when you carry around resentment in your body, and resentment is irritation, it is microaggressions, it is little bits of anger, it is hate. And we all carry these little traces of self-hate because we haven't self-loved. But if you do that, at some point in your life, you're going to act out, even as an adult. And this looks like break up, and then all of it comes out. This looks like taking drugs, subduing yourself with alcohol, some of that stuff that I did. It looks like infidelity. It looks like fighting. We as adults haven't done enough, especially you men, showing and leading the way. And that's not entirely your fault, because you haven't been given the right skills and the right tools, the rites of passage to be able to lead your family, to be able to lead your wife, to be able to lead your husband if that's the way you do it. To be able to show them another way so that you give them a glimpse of the high road so that they can make the choice to take it. Carrying resentment festers in your body, and it becomes anger, it becomes frustration, it becomes the micro slights, it becomes the conversations, it becomes the passive aggression, it becomes all these little things that accumulate in your body. And if you don't get it outside of you, and you go, Jesse, those are words, those are feelings. Yeah, those words and feelings need to get out. And if you are betraying yourself by not speaking your truth, or you're not a human being, you're a human doing, as Dr. Wolf will say, then you're not honoring yourself. You are not loving yourself. And in times in my life, what did I do? I went out, drank lots of booze. In university, I ate too much. In some cases, there was infidelity. Yeah, that one's out there now. I got that out. And I wasn't proud of myself in those moments. I wasn't. But I can make the choice now to not do that. To honor my own truth. To honor myself. This doesn't make me feel good because I have decided to keep it inside myself. Not telling somebody how I feel or how I believe and keeping it inside myself and not dealing with that, accepting that, is a betrayal. And the betrayal becomes anger with you. It's not everybody else around you. It's not. And it might seem like other people are triggering you, but it's you. It is you. Don't argue with me. It is you. This is your projection. You got to deal with you. It's time. I know this might sound kind of preachy, but some of you out there really need to hear this, because some of you need that push. Some of you need this brother figure, of which I have become in your life so far, or this father figure, or this brother to sister, however I am to you. I love that, by the way. And some of you just need to know or see a sign. This is your sign. This is your sign. And don't you dare worry about you doing it the wrong way. You haven't done it the wrong way. You've had to do it to this point to understand that it isn't the right thing for you. What do I mean by that? It's not good for you to harbor resentment inside of you, because it builds and builds and builds and becomes sickness. It becomes distractions. It becomes addictions. If you talk to anybody, let's say you talk to somebody in addictions about how they got clean. I know some of you are perking up now. Versus somebody with infidelity issues. Versus somebody with issues about anger and how they show up in life. You're going to find common threads. And those common threads are what? You didn't show up for you. You didn't love yourself. You didn't love yourself. Well, Jesse, I love myself every day. This is how I do it. I do it with this and this and this, but I can't do this. You are making excuses for yourself. If you need to attend a men's group or a women's group, do not be resentful of your spouse for wanting to do that for them. They're doing that for you too. They need to be able to supported by men, or other women. And if they decide that they need to go to a group to be able to be heard, to be able to know that there's other people out there that are facing similar issues, to know that it's okay, that's okay. And if they talk to you about this is something that they make the choice about what they're going to do, to be able to clear that resentment and not harbor it anymore, that is okay too. It does not mean that you don't get to do that too. You get to choose to do that too, and you should. Because what's good for you is good for them, it's good for the family. Okay? It's good. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying, whatever comes up for you after this video that you've seen is meant to be. And if you're ready for somebody to hold a safe space container for you, to support you, I'm going to do that for you. I will do that for you like many people have done that for me. And you bet your ass that I can do that for you. When are you going to call me? When are you going to email me? When are you going to stop making excuses for yourself? When are you going to show up for you? Hold yourself accountable and go, today I'm going to call Jesse. Today is the day that I finally call him and we get stuff done. Today is the day that makes the difference. It is the tipping point. It is the paramount day. It is the pinnacle day that I have made for me and me only to get started on whatever this is that I need to do. But I know that somebody is out there like Jesse to count, for Rich to count on. Okay? I know you're out there. And I know you just want one person to be able to hear you. I know that you're carrying resentment. You're harboring it like I did. And I want you to know that it's okay. But I also want you to know that it's not okay to carry it forever. And you gotta unload it. You gotta get rid of it. And you gotta be shown the tools. And some of you will need permission. I give you permission. But you didn't need my permission, but I will give it to you. To be able to be seen, be heard, and to be able to get on with your life. I'm doing it. I'm living proof. And I'm seeing myself do it in little hints of other things all day. My friends, I've talked too long. This is what I needed to say to you today. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Thank you for your comments. We will talk real soon. Call me.